So last night, the Orange Hats were at a venue called Dixon Place on Chrystie Street in the Lower East Side here in Manhattan. We were seeing a show called Doppelgangers, a love story. Now, I ended up at this show on recommendation from a friend of mine, so I had no idea what to expect when I went. And if you ask me now, I'm still not sure I'd be able to describe what I saw there. But luckily, shows have program notes, so I'm going to read them to you, for they do a much better job of explaining than I would be able to. Doppelgangers juxtaposes visual imagery, dance, text, music, video, and a lot of paint to explore the hearts and minds of two queer men in love. Nothing is off limits as Fox and Burke embark on a vulnerable homo journey, exploring topics such as sex, love, prostitution, porn, identity, drugs, death, religion, appropriation, queer culture, and secret histories. Featuring original porno video by acclaimed queer filmmaker Todd Verow, and choreography by New York City's Nubian burlesque princess, RAKIA. So, with no further ado, let's check out Doppelgangers.
I'm all that you see, you wanna see, so come and dance with me, Michael. So close now, so close now, so come and dance with me, so come and dance with me, so come and dance with me. Michael, you're the boy with all the leather hips, sticky hips down along my sticky lips. Michael, you're the only one I'd ever want, only one I'd ever want, only one I'd ever want. Beautiful boys on a beautiful dance floor. Michael, you're dancing like a beautiful dance floor. Michael, we're on a silver planet now, and nothing matters now.
We came to the show, we loved it. It was really good. It was
Great, yeah.
entertaining and creative and artistic, and it's a little taste of the old New York that you don't get very often anymore. So it was refreshing. Very nice.
Well, I will say that I've seen a lot of Michael Burke's performances. I've never seen Krys Fox. And I know Michael Burke, and so I was a little interested to see how they work together, and I was very surprised. I think I came in with a bias thinking it wouldn't work, like Michael does prose, and from what I read of Krys it wouldn't work, but I thought they meshed very well together. I thought it was very interesting that we never heard Krys speak, and Michael was sort of the voice of it. I loved it. I thought it was one of, for someone who knows Michael's work, I thought that he just progressed further from what he's done before. I thought it was one of his best pieces and an amazing collaboration. Especially the point where Krys was sort of covering himself with the white paint, and then Michael came out, they had the sort of the masks on. I thought it was really beautiful and symbolistic, an interesting metaphor. He was, I don't want to give it away, but sort of the dance, if you want to call it that, or the fight that they were doing, that was probably my favorite part in the entire piece. I love Michael's prose, so I love all his prose, but there was no words, and it wasn't like a choreographed dance necessarily, but something about it really spoke to me. You have to see it to understand it.
So tonight we saw Doppelgangers at Dixon Place with, Michael Burke and Krys Fox, and I actually really loved it. I loved it because it had a story, but not just any story. There was a lot of human vulnerability, depicted, and I thought Krys Fox's movements with the paint were really evocative and really matched with the music. Like, I thought the musicality was so strong that it reminded me, like, wow, I haven't seen a piece like this in a while. And I think, especially, multimedia, some of the, sometimes there's so many elements that the story gets really lost, or it's really hard to decipher what's going on or what's the intention. But I thought that each separate piece was really strong, and the narrative, while I guess some of it could be more fleshed out. That I don't know. I think everything just it like made me feel something, and I can't say that like about everything.
Right.
Yeah.
There's definitely an emotional side to it. I've seen incarnations of Michael's part of the piece over the last couple of years, and now to see Krys's work put into it, and their relationship fleshed out in ways on stage. You do get this sort of emotional, emotive force, kind of like propelled onto you, but it also opens something up with you. And I think you bring up a good point about the soundscape, the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think it had a lot to do with it. I actually didn't know any of the music except for one song.
Yeah,
and then there was something about going down into that world. It's actually something that I feel personally is missing from New York performance art. That tonight, seeing every show we do, every show that goes on a lot of places, I felt it's been missing for a while, and I feel these two artists were able to get that out of me.
And it's not like we're disparaging like other works. No, it's like we see a lot of good shows, and good shows have good elements, but there is something like I just can't think of another word other than like raw. But like
it's very personal to them, but it actually becomes then very personal to the audience for their relationship.
And it's not like I've like lived that life, at all.
Right.
But like I was like that grittiness. It was dark, but like really beautiful. It was like sublime.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd say it was sublime. Yeah.
I think we had a good time.
And I